Hi Virgo, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload many videos for Virgo and Pisces on Saturdays. But I do want to let you guys know that the deck that I'm using today is called the Kawaii Tarot, and that's Kawaii. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting your personal reading, my information is in the description below. Also, just a little bit of insight as to how I shuffle. Sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them. However, I really only take cards that jump out of the deck like these ones have. And usually if they jump out in groups that are too big, I'll go ahead and put them back in and continue shuffling. But my main goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started. So it looks like we have all the cards here. So before we get started, I do just want to remind you guys that in case you really enjoy the reading, or if it resonates with you, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is a card all about planning and making things happen, right? So this is like the second phase of the planning process, I would say. Like you've already sort of taken inventory of what the situation is like. You're trying to figure out like what all your resources are, what you can do in the situation, and now you're wanting to figure out how or what would be the best approach to this situation. So I think that right now isn't exactly a time for movement or taking action. Let things kind of play out by themselves a little bit, because if you allow them to sort of play out, that'll give you more information and sort of like a better understanding of the situation, allow you to act better once you finally do take action. But I don't think now is necessarily the time to do it, especially since you have this Five of Wands here. Now, the Five of Wands is a card all about conflict and strife. So whenever I see the card like the Five of Wands, I know that there is a lot of things that are causing conflict here. And I think that part of it has to do with the way you're, not necessarily the way that you're communicating, but the way communication is going. And I think that for a lot of you guys, it might be related to work or business, because I see the Eight of Pentacles here as well. So I'm thinking that there's some kind of a conflict going on between these two cards. Perhaps you're dealing with somebody at work who's just being really annoying, who doesn't really have any intention of helping you, and it's just trying to make you look bad or something. Or maybe someone who you had a misunderstanding or some kind of conflict at work. I don't want to say argument, but like things aren't necessarily hunky-dory with this person. But I'm seeing that whatever the situation is, you're going to come out on top, because I see the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is a card all about leaving one situation and moving to another, right? It's about looking for calmer waters and actually finding them. So whatever it is that's causing a conflict in your life right now, you're going to start to see a lot of improvements because of the Six of Swords. So like I was saying earlier with this Two of Wands here, it's better now to kind of take a more passive role instead of taking a proactive role, because things are still settling. Like, don't move until the dust is settled, because the Six of Swords is going to make your life easier in the long run. And then with this Eight of Pentacles and this Nine of Swords, I'm seeing that there's a lot of communication occurring here at work, because the Eight of Pentacles talks about work, skills, and career, and anything that involves a sort of bettering yourself in order to make money, right? So I'm seeing that perhaps you're working on your communication as like a skill in order to move up, or you're going to receive some kind of a message at work. I'm seeing like two possible possibilities. I'm seeing that you're either going to receive a message of like some kind of a tip or some kind of industry secret that tells you, hey, this is the way to do things. It'll be so much better if you do it this way, and then it like ends up working out for you. But do be careful whose advice you take, because I do sense like an amount of shady energy, and I think they're really good at covering up their shady energy, because I don't see any of the cards that would insinuate that in the reading. But the second possibility that I was talking about earlier is that you might receive an offer for a different job, perhaps one that is more focused on communication, due to this Knight of Swords with this Eight of Pentacles. Because I'm certainly seeing some kind of movement and change, especially with the Six of Swords. And with this Ten of Wands in reverse, I'm seeing that you guys are really coming into a situation where you're no longer having to do everything by yourselves, right? Virgos and just earth signs in general can sometimes have that attitude of like, well, if you want something done right, do it yourself. So I think that you guys kind of shoulder the burden a lot of times, and you try to do as much as you can and give like 120%, but as a result, you burn yourself out very quickly. And that's even taking into consideration your guys' like nearly infinite stamina, but like at some point you're going to have to delegate out your jobs to other people so that you're able to focus in your energy to where it's needed with the Seven of Pentacles, because the Seven of Pentacles is all about putting energy into a situation, putting work into a situation, right? And I feel like that situation that the Seven of Pentacles is talking about is you. I think that you need to focus on yourself, focus on what you're doing, and allow yourself to give yourself time and resources in order to do the things that you actually want to do, because I feel like you guys are used to kind of putting your needs second, putting your needs second to everyone else's, and then doing a lot of this. But I feel like now is time for you guys to just kind of be a little selfish in that regard, but still make sure everything gets done with this Ten of Wands in reverse. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the Ten of Wands in the upright is a card that's all about shouldering burdens. So shouldering burdens and doing everything by yourself are the energies of the Ten of Wands in the upright. So because it's in reverse, it feels like you're releasing some of your burdens, either because they're finished or you're no longer doing them. I'm hearing that for some of you guys, you might have been like going to grad school or something, and you finally turned in your thesis, and like that's one less big thing that you need to worry about, right? So that would be like an example of releasing a burden. And then others of you guys are just delegating out some of your responsibilities, or delegating back some of the responsibilities that were kind of like given to you or that you took because you were worried that they would be incompetent and wouldn't be able to do it by themselves. And I know I'm speaking kind of coldly on that, but I feel like whether that's a family situation or a work situation or whatever, I feel like you were doing more than your fair share, and it's time that other people start to pull their weight as well. And with this King of Swords and this Five of Pentacles, I feel like to a certain degree there is a level of worry that this communication or this topic wouldn't be able to be reached in like a civil way, because the King of Swords is a very educated, smart, intelligent person. However, they're not always the most emotional, right? And sometimes they tend to have that like lazy demeanor because they perceive everything as being below them. You know, they have the tendency to be very condescending sometimes, especially when they're in the reverse, because this is somebody who takes his positive qualities as the King of Swords. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man. Just take it as it resonates for you. But this is somebody who takes that energy and doesn't use it effectively. And I feel like with the Five of Pentacles, this is the energy of being left out in the cold, right? Like you try to propose something to them and they're like, no, I don't think we'll be doing that because I don't feel like it or whatever. You know, completely condescending, completely disregarding your ideas. But I feel like that's why we have this Two of Wands here. Like it all loops back. You have your High Priestess and your Two of Wands here. And that tells me that you guys are able to get these things done. You just need to do it in the way that you know will get it done, right? So with this High Priestess, we know that there's some things that you're working on sort of like subconsciously as well. So start studying up on these people, reading them, seeing how they work, how they function, so that you can take an approach that works best for them, that's most likely to get you what you need or what you want. But that was your reading first time around, Virgo. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new videos for Virgo and Pisces on Saturdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.